Welcome to the Small Business Report with your co-host, Carl Brown, the Executive Director of the DC Small Business Development Center, and Sharon Morton. They're bringing you all the tools you need to succeed. Stay tuned for expert advice for business owners, subject matter experts, and government agencies on how to start, grow, and finance your business right here at HUR Voices on Sirius XM, Channel 141. The Small Business Report will be right back with a show you don't want to miss after these messages.
Hey, Small Business Report listeners, are you a small or mid-sized business? Let BDPAtoday.com help you leverage emerging technologies and digital innovations to transform your business.
BDPAtoday.com will highlight your organization's innovations, solutions, and success stories. Let BDPAtoday.com publish your branded videos, blogs, and photos to a national tech industry audience and assist with your awareness building campaign. With BDPAtoday.com, you can network with qualified and certified tech professionals and get access to developers, gamers, hackers, and interns to join your team for short or long-term projects.
Visit BDPAtoday.com for true digital transformation that will drive competitive advantage to your organization.
That's BDPAtoday.com.
This is HUR Voices on Sirius XM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharon Morton.
Welcome to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141, HUR Voices. And this is your host, Carl Brown, and in the studio with me today is Sharon Morton,
Your
President
co-host.
and CEO, absolutely, President and CEO of Morton Media.
Yeah.
So if you need to look good on TV, you need to reach out to Sharon.
Or if you want to sound good on the radio, MortonMediaTV.com is the best place to go. I'll have you looking good and sounding good, right, Carl? Like we do.
There you go. All day, every day.
All day, every day.
And
Carl,
I'm the
tell us-
executive director of the DC Small Business Development Center at the Howard University School of Business. So
Yeah, I
we're
was gonna
doing
say, tell
everything
us about
virtual
everything.
at this time.
But you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot with your COVID-19 initiative. You're doing so much for small businesses.
Oh yeah, we are working almost 24/7. It's ridiculous,
wow,
but
yeah.
that's what we do because there's so much to do. You know, we provide one-on-one confidential counseling to small businesses for free.
FREE.
You know, we do, we do a lot of workshops, on all online now. Everything is virtual and they are free. We do industry research for our clients for free, you know, and we work with them on international trade if they want to go in that direction for free. And we work with them on getting their loans. So everything is free.
That's
So there's
amazing,
no-
isn't it?
Yeah, and there's
No
no
excuse.
barrier to getting any help. I
That's
mean, all you
right.
gotta do is register on our website, dcsbdc.org, to get free confidential one-on-one counseling. Right now, if you say that your business was impacted by COVID, I have 2 attorneys on staff, CPA, HR pros, cybersecurity pro, you name it, we there. We got a team of folks ready to work with you. I got an
Yeah.
expert out of the hair care industry. So, I mean, if you need help, we're there for you.
And not only that, you have a whole slew of grants on the website too. So if people need money, if
yeah.
they're saying, I can't, I need money to keep going, you have plenty of resources there too, right?
Plenty of resources. We put new information on the website every day. So all you got to do is go to dcsbdc.org and find out there's COVID-19 page. All the information's right there. All you have to do is reach out to us. We can help you. So
Okay.
look, we'll be right back after these messages.
Computer systems in cars are the new normal, from electronically controlled transmissions to dozens of sensors. So when something breaks, it could cost a fortune. That's why I have CarShield. CarShield has affordable protection plans that can save you thousands for a covered repair, including computers and electronics. The people at CarShield understand payment flexibility is a must. Monthly plans can be customized to your needs with rates as low as $99 a month. No long-term contracts. At CarShield, you get to choose your favorite mechanic or dealership, and CarShield takes care of the rest. They offer complimentary 24/7 roadside assistance and a rental car while yours is being repaired. CarShield has helped over 1 million customers. For as low as $99 a month, you can protect yourself from surprises and save thousands for a covered repair. Call 800-CAR-6000 and mention code REPORT, or visit carshield.com and use code REPORT to save 10%. That's carshield.com, code REPORT. A deductible may apply. Are you a business owner and your business needs a boost? Are you ready to build or grow a profitable business that delivers new clients and customers to you every month? Have your business highlighted on a national radio show or TV network. Let MortonMediaTV.com help you get the maximum exposure your business deserves so that you can get the customers you need. MortonMediaTV.com will help you start or grow your business rapidly through the power of TV and radio. You can reach hundreds of thousands of viewers and listeners who want to buy your product or service. At MortonMediaTV.com, our mission is to teach business owners how to use the media to their benefit. You can become a thriving entrepreneur and achieve the financial freedom you've always dreamed about. Go to MortonMediaTV.com and get your business on TV or radio for the maximum exposure you deserve and the customers you need. That's MortonMediaTV.com.
Hey, Small Business Report listeners, this is your host, Carl Brown and Sharon Morton. Are you a growing small or mid-sized government contractor ready to reduce your back office costs? Do you want to maximize your compliance and minimize risk managing contracts? Move your business to the next level of success with AtWork Systems.
AtWork's OneLink solution provides electronic self-services to every employee, greatly reducing frustrating paperwork. Your managers get out-of-the-box processes that increases productivity, improves control, and eliminates surprises. And most importantly, your executives get the real-time data and analysis needed to make better decisions.
Take it from us here on the Small Business Report on SiriusXM. Let AtWork Systems streamline your back office and save you money while doing it.
Visit exploreatwork.com now and receive your free demo and business assessment. That's exploreatwork.com.
This is HUR Voices on Sirius XM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharon Morton.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. And today we have Shakira Brown, a PR advisor. She works at the SBDC at the College of New Jersey. So if you need some help and you're in Jersey, you better reach out to Shakira Brown. She could help you on marketing, PR, branding, all of that, social media. So Shakira, thank you for being on the show and welcome to the Small Business Report.
Yeah, thank you, Shakira.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's great to join you guys again for what I am certain will be a very interesting conversation.
Before we move on, Shakira, tell everybody your website or email address, how they can reach you.
Sure. Just to clarify, I'm, like Carl said, I'm with the SBDC at the College of New Jersey. I'm one of the business consultants. We serve Mercer County specifically in New Jersey. But if you reach out to me, we will make sure you get hooked into the center in your market in New Jersey. But I could be reached at ShakiraBrown.com, ShakiraBrown.com. You can email me through there. You can watch videos. Everything is there.
Good. That's good. One-stop shop. We like that, right, Carl?
Absolutely. I mean, you make it easy for small businesses.
Yep.
So, Shakira, what are some of your observations when it comes to small businesses and their mindset throughout this pandemic that we're facing?
So I'm going to say something that I'm sure Carl could commiserate with. There's always the clients every year, every month, who are calling to look for free money. Am I right or wrong, Carl?
Oh, that's number one.
Okay. So when the late March happened, and all these programs were being released, and I'm reaching out to clients, to the ones that I know who are always looking for opportunities for free money that normally doesn't exist. You know, I called one gentleman. He owns a small deli. He was sleeping. He had no care in the world. It was like 2 o'clock on a Wednesday. I called him up, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, well, you know, there's the PPP loan, and the state is going to have, Economic Development Authority is going to have some grants. He hadn't even thought about it. Wow. And this is somebody who has cried the blues about wanting free money. Okay?
And here it was. Here it was. And
here it was.
He wasn't on top of it.
My favorite was the fact that about 2 or 3 weeks later, I reached out to him, and he had gotten a PPP loan. It was like for like 60 grand. He had gotten the $10,000 grant from the state.
Wow.
And this is all because I called him and woke him up out of his slumber.
He wouldn't have gotten it without that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I was able to call him was because he had been using our services, and we had helped him with other things in the past. I was just making a lot of courtesy calls, and that's what we did in the beginning. We called we looked in our database and called a lot of our recent clients and said, okay, do you know what's going on? Because they don't read newsletters. That's another thing. The mindset is, okay, you know, the struggle mindset happens. And then, you know, the whole thing about wanting free money, it didn't occur to them that this time this is real and there's money out there, and they just needed to do what it took to get it. And there was a lot of coaxing when it came down, even with the, here's the worst that I heard from a mindset perspective. When it came out that you could get the self-employed unemployment, which is a gift.
Yeah.
There's never self-employed unemployment.
Never, ever has there ever been. Never,
a gift.
ever.
You know what? I heard, this is the mindset that I heard over and over again. Well, there are other people who need it more than me.
Wow.
Maybe
okay.
Wow.
You know, there's other businesses that might need it. And I said, well, don't you need it? Well, yeah, but there's someone who might need it more.
Oh my God!
I said, well, they're not limiting to certain number of people.
Yeah, I was going to say there's enough to go around. But
I mean, they put billions of dollars into these funds.
Yeah, and they were practically begging you to apply.
Yes.
I don't understand that struggle mindset.
The struggle mindset was real, especially at the first 2 months, and all of the people who I've spoken to who wanted free money, they all hesitated on the free money that was actually available for real.
What, they wanted to continue to struggle? Is that what?
Yeah, either that, or they didn't think it was for them.
Okay.
They knew it was out there, and they didn't think it was for them.
So they just wanted to be educated.
Yes,
that is a real conflict to the people who got the money and bought Rolls Royces and Lamborghinis and all this other stuff. I mean, I just don't get it. These people didn't even have a business, or their business wasn't as large as they said it was, got this money, got arrested, now they're in jail, and other folks are saying, oh, maybe the guy down the street needs it more than me. I mean, okay.
Wow. And the easiest money to get during this time period was the self-employed unemployment.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like in other states, but the application for unemployment was very simple. In the beginning, they had no provisions for the self-employed. If you got on there and got it early, it's because you just instinctively were able to answer the questions correctly. Because I could tell you that the state of New Jersey struggled a little bit trying to get themselves up to speed.
Right, yeah.
But that was the easiest.
They're not alone. They're not alone, yeah.
I think all 50 of them struggled.
They struggled.
Yeah.
I hear
because they weren't used to this. Yeah, and they weren't used to this
but,
and the onslaught of people.
Right.
That were
they weren't used to the numbers. I mean,
the numbers were
40
wild.
million people unemployed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was a lot of applications going in at the same time. This
and not enough
staff.
Not enough staff.
Not enough staff.
Yeah, and
so
staff working from home too.
Yeah. So you finally got them to wake up out of their slumber. Huh,
Some
Shakira?
people just had to be woken up out of a slumber or told that, just go ahead. We just, what we kept saying? We kept saying, just apply to everything. We literally said that.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. If you get denied,
then that's okay. But you need to apply to everything. So the fact that we had to say that to small business owners who always cry the broke story, you could tell that there's a general mindset challenge among small, because you're right, it becomes a struggle mindset that just kind of stays with them. So that was one of the things that I saw, and it took some coaxing and really being a little bit raw with people and say, look, get the money.
Yeah.
Literally had to say that.
Yeah,
so,
it's all about the money. Yeah.
Yeah, because even if it never converted to the grant, the interest rate in the 20-year, 30-year payback period are very attractive.
Yes.
1% for the SBA, if I'm not mistaken, and 30
That was
years,
for the
over 30
PPP.
years. Yeah. Also
Yeah.
for the EIDL was either 1 or 2% over 30
No, it was
years.
3.5 and 2.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, yeah. And that was for a 30-year loan. I mean, when are you ever going to have that opportunity again?
Unprecedented times all around, especially when it came to
Right,
financial
and-
assistance.
Well, on top of that, you didn't have to start paying back for a year
Right.
from when you got the loan.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there was,
Just-
so that also the idea that, oh well, if I can't make it forgivable, and then the loan, and I don't want to take out loans. It just silliness. There was
Yeah.
a lot. There was
I think people just didn't understand. I mean, you could pay yourself as payroll and it can be forgiven. I think
Oh
it
my
was, is it
goodness, that was
40
a
or
huge
60%?
misconception.
Yeah,
Yes.
people didn't understand. The good news, though, is if they had gone to the dcspdc.org website or your website, there were so many webinars that were being conducted explaining the process and what people needed to do. But I think a lot of people just aren't always plugged in, and they're so, maybe so busy running their businesses that they're not really paying attention to what's really out there. So Shakira, you were there to educate them. So that's a great thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it like this: is like you're driving your car, but your gas tank is on empty, and you're still focused on getting to where you got to go, and you're 40, 50 miles away from where you got to go, and the little yellow light is already on. You're not going to make it. All right, you got to pay attention. So, I mean, you could say, yeah, I'm in the eye of the storm. I'm working. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But then again, I see them, back in the day at the basketball games, at the football games. They were here, there, and everywhere, but they're too busy to tell you that they need some help, So
Yeah.
that's one of the problems that we have.
So Shakira, what can entrepreneurs do right now to help their businesses grow long term?
So I've been thinking a lot about this, and just based on some of the things that I'm doing for my own business. And because we have the opportunity to do a lot of things with just lots of time, I would say video is a great way to get your message out there, create video content where it's just a quick message to your customers and clients, something that can help them move their own business or their lives forward, keep them safe. This is a great opportunity to work on your social media and use said video on your social media because we have a captive audience right now. There's a lot of people spending a lot of time on social media, so that's one thing they can do. And also lessons learned from applying to some of the programs like the PPP loan and the things they saw that they were deficient in, such as perhaps not having financial statements that they can just grab from previous years, payroll statements. These types of things that small business owners need to have were not available, and they were scrambling. And some people never got around to doing them, and they missed the boat, right? To apply for some of these programs. So just taking the time to take a step back and look at your business holistically and say, where can I improve my business operations? What struggles did I have when I was trying to race to get the information I needed to apply for a lot of the federal programs or the state programs that were available? Some people also found out that being below the radar wasn't going to help them very much going as it came to these federal programs and these financial assistance that was out there. For instance,
Shakira, let's talk about that on the other side of the break. We've got to go to break really quickly, but we're going to pick up where we left off right here on the Small Business Report on Sirius XM Channel 141, HUR Voices. We'll be right back.
Get ready for skincare and makeup that will heal your mind, body, and soul.
SkinDeepBeautyStore.com is a totally organic and vegan skincare and makeup line that you'll love using, because what you put on your body is just as important as what you put in it. Choose from our organic moisturizers, anti-aging serums, natural and fruit-based scrubs, masks, lipsticks, and glosses. No more worries about harsh chemicals being absorbed into your skin. It's time to commit to your health and wellness. SkinDeepBeautyStore.com is your one-stop, cruelty-free skincare and makeup shop with safe and environmentally friendly ingredients for the love of you. Visit us at SkinDeepBeautyStore.com. That's SkinDeepBeautyStore.com.
Do you need expert advice from successful business leaders on how to start, grow, and finance your business? Tune in every week to the Small Business Report at HUR Voices on Sirius XM Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharon Morton. The Small Business Report gives you, the small business owner, and those thinking about starting a business, expert advice from successful business leaders around the country. Visit us at smallbusinessreport.biz and like us on Facebook. The Small Business Report, giving you the tools you need to succeed. This is HUR Voices on Sirius XM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharon Morton.
You're listening to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM Channel 141. And we got Shakira Brown in the studio. So Shakira, could you finish up that point you were making?
Yes, a lot of people, a lot of small business owners, I should say, have decided over time that, they were going to fly below the radar. They're not going to have a registered business with their state. They were not going to pay individuals as part-time employees or full-time employees. They were going to pay them under the table. These things came back to bite people when it came to financial assistance.
Big time.
So what I'm advising everybody to do is to look at some of these things that you thought were right and recognize how it hurt you when you needed it most, and kind of course correct, and get yourself ready for that next time that hopefully we won't have anything after this too soon, but you need to have your business affairs in order.
Well, let me tell you, Shakira, in January, we talked about legacy building businesses as opposed to lifestyle. What you're talking about is lifestyle. I'm going to pay you under the table, or I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to formalize all that. That is no way to conduct your business. You need to legitimize. And I'm so glad you said that, because that's what we are talking about here on the Small Business Report. Let's not talk about, how to fly under the radar and all that. Because like you said, it came back to bite them. And they did not, they could not apply for any of those programs that were out there that could really help them. So now they're stuck, and their business is stuck. So.
Yeah. And what they also could have done, and this goes back to education, if they were sole proprietors or single member LLCs, they could have certainly still applied for those programs that were out there and unemployment, and they could have been paying, their, folks as freelancers or 1099s, and that would have helped them, as a matter of fact,
Yes.
right, Shakira?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, they definitely, it was a lesson for everyone. And if I'm not mistaken, Carl, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought I heard something about Congress possibly extending or doing the PPP again. I thought that was something.
Well,
recent.
they might, but everything is, being held up in the Senate right now.
right.
So there's nothing going on.
But there's a
at this point.
possibility, right? So what
There's a
Shakira is
possibility.
saying, people should start getting their records and getting everything in order. So if they missed out on the first and second rounds, because I think they extended the PPP to August 8th, and now if it comes back around, it's a chance to go ahead and clean up your act, right, Shakira?
Yes.
Even if that doesn't come to fruition, they still should do that, right?
Yes, because there could be other programs, even if they're local, municipal.
Local grant. I mean,
Yeah.
we in the district, we just issued 2 grant programs this week.
Yeah.
All they got to do is go on my website.
Right. And there's a ton of corporations that are giving grants to minority-owned businesses. Many
Woman-owned,
corporations.
minority-owned,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But let's talk about that, because what's happening also with some of that is people are starting to get too focused in on the grant programs. And what happens is they get focused on that. And if they really need money to keep them afloat, to wait on a grant program that, like these private ones you mentioned, these corporate ones, that may not save them in the interim. So there's some risk that some people need to take right now and maybe get the loan programs from the CDFIs that are out there and things like that. That's what I'm seeing is we're getting calls from individuals who they'll see something that mentions a grant and they focus in on that. They're not even reading the eligibility requirements. They just see grant and they call. I'm like, oh, well, that's, I had a hair salon call about a grant program they saw in the newsletter, and the person didn't bother reading it, just saw grants. And it was indignant. I want to get access to these grants. And I said, okay, what type of business do you have? It's a hair salon. Okay, the grant you're talking about was for federal contractors. Do you have federal contracts to do hair?
Well, Shakira, we have no doubt that you make certain people know the deal. You're going to explain to them what it is they can and cannot do. So that's a great thing.
Yeah. So and that brings to the point that individuals need to carefully read things, be curious, but read things, research, have a general understanding of what you're looking at. Don't make any assumptions. Do a little due diligence. And that's part of the problem. A lot of people don't want to do that. But it's required as a business owner. It is a requirement. Due diligence.
It is. It's a lot. So if you are not prepared to treat your business like a newborn baby that's going to require constant care, then you might want to think about doing something else. Because
get a job. Go get a job.
Exactly. Get a job.
So what are some of the ways that small business owners can stay relevant during this time period, this COVID-19 pandemic environment?
I think it's time for small business owners to take a look at their customer list. If they're in a sort of a client serving business, start calling people, sending notes of how are you doing, just checking in. If you have a restaurant or some sort of brick and mortar type business, to make sure you ask those questions of people. There is this when you go into a place today, everybody's so standoffish. People, if you just give a little bit of empathy and compassion, could go a long way for your business, and people will remember you and they'll come back to you even during these difficult, uncertain times. And that's the one thing that I think we're seeing is if you physically go to a place, there's a standoffish feeling.
Well, is it because of COVID? Maybe that's the reason.
No. That's the reason. What I'm saying is you have to find other ways to make people feel comfortable. When you go in, maybe you have a better conversation.
I see.
Maybe, there needs to be something else. We can't see people's faces behind them, with a mask on. So we can't see. So, make sure you're expressive. Look, with your eyes. But that extra level of customer service is going to be very important during these times. I'm seeing people making offers of just being of service at no charge. I'm not saying give away all your services.
Right.
Can you find something to be of service in some way that will make people feel like, wow, I want to go back to them, or I want to use that service again. I can't believe they did that for me. This is a time of service. And if you can be of service, you will remain relevant during these uncertain times.
Yeah, I've seen a sandwich shop pivot to catering to various hospitals,
or to the homeless,
and that's how he was able to stay employed, how to stay in business, because he had never thought about catering until the hospital called him and said, "Look, we need 200 sandwiches."
Okay, yeah, you're right, Carl.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking like a Goodwill kind of thing where they cater to the homeless. I've seen that as well.
Well,
pop up a restaurant,
and they've done that too.
Yeah,
and they've done that too. But see, the whole thing came. his thing was brick and mortar and people walking up and down the street. Mm-hmm. And when everyone had the shelter in place, there was no up and down the street, no foot traffic, people stopping by. But the hospital that's not too far from his location, somebody drove by and said, "Oh, they're still open. Let's get a couple hundred sandwiches from them." And they did. They prepared them, sold them to the hospital, and they were able to. They spun off and gave some to the homeless and other people. So being of service is a good thing as well.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to be of service. This is the time for that. I can tell you from my own business, my speaking business, I have been of service to some associations, offering them content to do things at no charge. That has given me a very high paying fee gig later this year.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Because I was of service first, and it just so happened someone attended that event that I did for free. Someone referred me out for a paid gig.
Shakira, give us your website and again, or your information, how people can reach out to you.
How they can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'll start off with, if you're listening and you're in the New Jersey market, definitely visit the sbdcnj.com website for information about counseling service, no cost counseling service. We always say no cost, Carl. We don't use the word free. It's no cost.
No cost too.
Okay.
It's no cost. And then also, if you want to reach out to me directly to ask questions about branding, marketing, social media strategy, video storytelling, please email me at sbrown@shakirabrown.com. That's sbrown@shakirabrown.com. And of course, just go to shakirabrown.com for lots of good information about me and how to reach me for workshops and things like that.
Great information.
Yeah, great information. We're so
information.
glad you came on.
Thank you, Shakira.
Shakira, yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
We will be right back. We're coming back with, I think, Michael Burke, right, Carl?
Michael Burke, and he's going to be talking about coaching and leadership development in the COVID environment.
Okay, we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Small Business Report listeners, are you a small or mid-sized business? Let BDPAtoday.com help you leverage emerging technologies and digital innovations to transform your business.
BDPAtoday.com will highlight your organization's innovations, solutions, and success stories. Let BDPAtoday.com publish your branded videos, blogs, and photos to a national tech industry audience and assist with your awareness building campaign. With BDPAtoday.com, you can network with qualified and certified tech professionals and get access to developers, gamers, hackers, and interns to join your team for short or long-term projects.
Visit BDPAtoday.com for true digital transformation that will drive competitive advantage to your organization.
That's BDPAtoday.com. Computer systems in cars are the new normal, from electronically controlled transmissions to dozens of sensors. So when something breaks, it could cost a fortune. That's why I have CarShield. CarShield has affordable protection plans that can save you thousands for a covered repair, including computers and electronics. The people at CarShield understand payment flexibility is a must. Monthly plans can be customized to your needs with rates as low as $99 a month. No long-term contracts. At CarShield, you get to choose your favorite mechanic or dealership, and CarShield takes care of the rest. They offer complimentary 24/7 roadside assistance and a rental car while yours is being repaired. CarShield has helped over 1 million customers. For as low as $99 a month, you can protect yourself from surprises and save thousands for a covered repair. Call 800-CAR-6000 and mention code REPORT, or visit carshield.com and use code REPORT to save 10%. That's carshield.com, code REPORT. A deductible may apply.
This is HUR Voices on Sirius XM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharon Morton.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report on Sirius XM Channel 141 HUR Voices. We have Michael Burke on the phone. He is a consultant. He has his own company, Quest, 2consulting.com. and we are so happy to have you on the line, Michael, because we are recording differently because we're in a COVID world today. But you're going to be talking to us all
COVID
about
environment.
COVID environment. You're going to be talking to us about leadership. So welcome to the Small Business Report again.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yep.
So the reason why we keep bringing Mike on to the show is because small business owners really need to understand and focus on leadership and coaching. If you need some assistance, if you need some help, we got coaches. Michael Burke is working for DC Small Business Development Center right now, helping us with the COVID-19 CARES Act. And, we're happy to have you, and we want to make sure that the folks out here know that leadership and coaching are something that is necessary, needed, and available for them. So welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael, why do small business owners or businesses, period, need to focus on leadership, particularly with their CEOs? Why is that so important?
Well, in small business, the leader wears so many different hats, number one. Number two, I spent the first half of my career in corporate America. The blessing was I learned a lot. And I had mentors, and most of us who have worked in corporate, we move faster through the top by having a mentor. And so I think for small businesses, a lot of times the leader is out there by themselves. They don't have anybody unless they have an advisory board or something like that. So I think mentorship helps the trajectory of companies. Most of the large companies today that are successful, if you talk to those CEOs, most of them have a coach, a business coach, a life coach, or some kind of coach that they're working with. So where do they get their support? Where do they get their development? And a lot of times that's the coach or the business counselor. That's why I think the SBDC is such a great opportunity for firms, especially in this COVID-19 initiative, where you can actually have subject matter experts helping you work on the area that is most important to your company's growth and survival. So I think the SBDC and what Carl and what you guys have put together for the small business community in Washington, D.C. is one of the greatest assets they have. And I hope the firms start to really, really take advantage of it, because in the future, they'll have to pay for that support.
That's right.
Right now they get it,
I want to know, how do you know if a coach is good? Like, how do you choose a business coach, and how do you know if that coach is good?
I think the first thing is you should interview more than one coach. You should interview the coach based on what you're trying to accomplish. Most coaches will ask you, and they'll do a session with you to determine if there's a match between what they do and how they do it and what you're trying to accomplish. And so you'll get a sense for that, almost like if you were hiring a therapist or a counselor or whatever. Are they able to work with you the way you want to work? Do you believe they can get you where you want to go? And you can ask them for references or case studies or stories of examples of people they work with, and even references of people that they've helped go from point A to point B. I think the other thing, and the reason I focused on leadership, is because I'm John Maxwell trained, and one of the things in John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, the first law is that is the law of the lid, and it basically says that a leader's effectiveness is only at the level that they are at themselves. And so most times our leaders aren't really self-aware. It's hard for them to look at themselves and where they are and what they need. And so I find that if I can grow the leader, I can grow the company from a coaching perspective. Yeah.
Okay.
Grow the leader, grow the business. That's my motto. Grow the leader, grow the business.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Carl?
I was just going to ask them, what are a couple of the focal points for the CEOs during the COVID environment?
Well, Carl, you said it the other day in one of our meetings. You said focus on revenue. And that's a age-old piece of wisdom there, which is, so I think the first thing you got to focus on is, one of the things we do is we help the leader do an assessment of their business. And we look at all the key aspects of a business at a very high level. But first and foremost, you got to look at revenue and where your revenue is coming from, and what your customer base looks like today, because that's really changing during COVID. Those customers that were loyal to you may be in situations themselves where they can no longer provide you the level of revenue. So you've got to really have a good handle on your customer base. And in order to do that, you got to look at your data. The challenge with small businesses is a lot of them don't use their data. So it's not just looking at your customer base, but it's looking at how that customer base performed back in January and how they're now performing in August. So one customer was generating, say $40,000 a month, and now they're generating $5,000 a month. Then you might have to look at that customer in a different way. And obviously you need more customers because you're losing revenue from that. You got to keep in touch with the customers and find out what they're going through. Are they going to be able to make it? Are they going to be able to stay in business? Because you have to reshuffle your customer base if they're not. And if you're not talking to your customers, then you'll never know. And if you're not looking at the data, you're invoicing to see if other customers performing, then you won't know. The second thing is your people. I mean, in this case, where we are today, you really have to look at your key people, those people that have helped your business really survive and grow, and you got to check on them. What's their emotional health during this time?
Yeah,
some of them have been impacted by COVID. Are you pushing them too hard yourself? I mean, you really have to get a sense for your people as another part of your business when you're looking forward. Because really you're trying to get through COVID so you can get to the other side of it.
Yeah.
And really when I'm talking to businesses, I'm talking trying to get them through COVID, but also thinking about what's the world going to look like after COVID, and what things do you need to do right now to not only survive, but then to be viable coming out of this.
How do you know if you need a coach? What if you think, hey, I'm the best CEO ever. I don't need any help. How do you know, and how do you get past that mindset?
And that's pretty much the attitude that most of them have.
So how are you able to convince them that they do in fact need your services?
I think when you look at a company and you look at, when I spend time with a company, like I said, the first thing that I'm going to do is do an assessment. And during that assessment of the business, I get to see the leader and how they perform. I get to see the metrics that the leader is looking at in terms of how they manage their business. I get to look at the way that the leader leads his people or her people. And in that, there's typically some gaps that you can see if you're a coach in terms of leadership style. Or a lot of times CEOs have a tendency to focus on where they came from. So if they came from sales, they focus on sales. If they came from doing the business, if they're a plumber and they focus on plumbing. But when you own your own business and then as an entrepreneur, all of a sudden your life changes because now you have to cover the whole gamut. You can't just do, I've been a great sales guy my whole career, and so I'm just going to focus on sales. But what about management? What about human resources? What about cash flow? What about all the other things that you have to pay attention to? You can't just live in a sales vacuum. And we've seen a lot of businesses that the CEO focuses on those areas, and they haven't brought in the right people in the other supporting areas to keep the company viable and to keep the company stable. And so hiring the right people, understanding where your blind sides are, and filling those gaps, that helps increase your level of leadership, and it helps increase the effectiveness of your company. So it's pretty easy to have a conversation with them because I use the data that they're presenting to me to say, I think you could use a coach. Why do you think I need a coach? Well, here's the 4 gaps. Here's the 4 gaps that I see.
Yeah, why do you think? Yeah, I love watching Undercover Boss because a lot of times the bosses are going in to see what the problem is with their company, and then they end up coming out also finding out what the problem is with themselves. So I really like that. But we're going to pick this up on the other side of the break. Michael, give us your website again and your email. How can people reach out to you?
My website is www.quest, Quest, the number 2, consulting.com. And you can reach me at Michael at quest2consulting.com.
Okay, we'll be right back after these messages here on the Small Business Report on Sirius XM Channel 141, HUR Voices. Get ready for skincare and makeup that will heal your mind, body, and soul. SkinDeepBeautyStore.com is a totally organic and vegan skincare and makeup line that you'll love using because what you put on your body is just as important as what you put in it. Choose from our organic moisturizers, anti-aging serums, natural and fruit-based scrubs, masks, lipsticks, and glosses. No more worries about harsh chemicals being absorbed into your skin. It's time to commit to your health and wellness. SkinDeepBeautyStore.com is your one-stop, cruelty-free skincare and makeup shop with safe and environmentally friendly ingredients for the love of you. Visit us at SkinDeepBeautyStore.com. That's SkinDeepBeautyStore.com.
Hey, Small Business Report listeners, it's your host, Carl Brown and Sharon Morton. Are you a growing small or mid-sized government contractor ready to reduce your back office costs? Do you want to maximize your compliance and minimize risk managing contracts? Move your business to the next level of success with AtWork Systems.
AtWork's OneLink solution provides electronic self-services to every employee, greatly reducing frustrating paperwork. Your managers get out-of-the-box processes that increases productivity, improves control, and eliminates surprises. And most importantly, your executives get the real-time data and analysis needed to make better decisions.
Take it from us here on the Small Business Report on SiriusXM. Let AtWork Systems streamline your back office and save you money while doing it.
Visit exploreatwork.com now and receive your free demo and business assessment. That's exploreatwork.com. Are you a business owner and your business needs a boost? Are you ready to build or grow a profitable business that delivers new clients and customers to you every month? Have your business highlighted on a national radio show or TV network. Let MortonMediaTV.com help you get the maximum exposure your business deserves so that you can get the customers you need. MortonMediaTV.com will help you start or grow your business rapidly through the power of TV and radio. You can reach hundreds of thousands of viewers and listeners who want to buy your product or service. At MortonMediaTV.com, our mission is to teach business owners how to use the media to their benefit. You can become a thriving entrepreneur and achieve the financial freedom you've always dreamed about. Go to MortonMediaTV.com and get your business on TV or radio for the maximum exposure you deserve and the customers you need. That's MortonMediaTV.com.
This is HUR Voices on Sirius XM Radio Channel 141 with your hosts Carl Brown and Sharon Morton.
Welcome back to the Small Business Report here on Sirius XM, Channel 141, HUR Voices. And we have Mr. Michael Burke on the phone, Quest 2 Consulting. And Mike, we were talking about, the impact that a CEO has on business, but what are some of the direct impacts you're seeing on small businesses other than customer attrition?
Payment. Payment is
you mean getting payment?
Getting payment.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So in other words, people's accounts receivables are being stretched out. I do predominantly business to business, so let me be clear about that. So what clients are seeing is they're seeing customers take a lot longer time to pay, or they're paying percentages of their invoice versus the entire invoice. So
and you're saying that with this whole pandemic thing, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you follow what's happening, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. If you follow what's happening, what?
I mean, if you think of space, for instance, let's say a small business has 2 locations. So right now they're starting to negotiate. We're not in that location, even though we physically have a lease. Can we get a reduction in our payment on the lease? Okay, on the real estate. Yeah. I've got a guy that's got 4 locations right now, and he's only has 1 person going in and out of the location where he used to have 5 or 6. So why bear the burden of that cost if you can negotiate reduction in your lease on 3 of those locations, all right? Or if you can get out of the lease, because
I was going to say, what about trying to get out? Yeah.
Right, because I'm not sure post-COVID if you're going to have as many people in the office as you had when we started.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
in other words, I think people are learning that that certain numbers of people in their companies can work from home and be just as productive. And if that's the case, how much office space do I need? If I have 10 cubes and, in 4 offices, maybe I only need, 1 office and 5 cubes, right? And then I can work those people from home, and that reduces my overhead costs. So payment is in the terms of people negotiating lower payments or longer time to pay. And then customers are making different kind of purchasing decisions now for the same reasons we just talked about. So businesses are wondering, do I need to buy that right now? Mm-hmm. And that may impact a lot of our small businesses that sell business or even sell services. Do I need that service right now? Because I'm not really sure what's going to happen to me given what's been happening in these last few months. So I think there's 2 indicators just in terms of the behavior of clients. And we have to react to that as a small business. We have to react to the behavior of clients. We have to figure out, well, given they're going through this, is there another opportunity for my business with this same client base? Because it's still easier to maximize your revenue with clients that know you than finding new ones.
Yeah, we were talking about that on another show in terms of, moving your employees to a virtual environment where you don't need the brick and mortar anymore, if you can get out of the lease, of course, and how a lot of employees are working from home and their productivity has increased or it has changed because they're at home with their spouses, with their kids, trying to do online learning or education with their kids. I don't envy them. I'm so thankful my kids are grown. But, and so employers have to kind of pivot and understand we're in a different world, and maybe they're not working, maybe they can't work 9 to 5. Maybe they have to, change their hours to accommodate what has changed. And so I guess the same thing would apply for a CEO who would be that employer. Hey, you guys, I think it was at Google or Twitter or Facebook or all of them told a lot of their employees,
I
you're
think
not
it
coming
was
back.
Google said till 2021.
Yeah,
you're going to be working from home.
Exactly. So that's a major pivot, And what you were saying earlier too, Michael, CEOs have to stay attuned to their employees because some of them are working from home alone. And so now, maybe being home isolated, no one's, you don't have any kids there, or there's no noise, it's quiet all day, you hear bad news all day. They have to be cognizant of their employees' psychological well-being too, their mental health as well.
Yes. And then how do you manage people from home? How do you, let's say you're managing your sales force and your sales force is all remote. Are you looking at forecasts? How do you manage their productivity? There's different, once your people are not where you don't get to see them every day, then you have to figure out what are your metrics that you're using to manage their performance as well. How do you know they're doing what they need to do? What's that look like now that everybody is remote? What kind of systems do you need in place to validate and check and confirm that? I have one client, I'm looking at his sales forecast, and I'm saying, how often do you get a forecast? And he says every other month. Well, every other month, by the time you look at the forecast, you may have missed 2 or 3 different opportunities to close something because you're not working with the people on a regular basis. So you have to think new systems in general to manage people's performance and to manage your inputs and outputs for your company. So how do you do that? So it's not just innovating and pushing everybody out to home. It's how do you now make your business run when it's virtual? There's a lot of different tools that you need. There's a different way to manage when you're managing a virtual environment. More conference calls, more Zoom meetings, more reporting, those kinds of things. Absolutely.
Yeah, Carl was talking about that. How many Zoom meetings, Carl, a week?
I can attest to all of that and more reporting.
Right.
I mean, it gets to a point.
Yeah, and I think CEOs really have to be looking at data. If you look at what McKinsey or Harvard Business Review is putting out right now, we've got to analyze the data. What are we seeing in the marketplace? What is the data telling us? How do we create innovation, and how do we create new opportunities for ourselves? Some businesses are reinventing themselves right now. A CEO can make the decision that if they're looking at the data and they see that there's another business. I have one company who's all of a sudden had a relationship with a PPE provider, and now they've got a whole PPE line of business where they're selling masks and clothing and protective equipment to a huge marketplace, and it's doubled their business in the last 5 months. If they missed that, they wouldn't be as healthy as they are working through this environment. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't think that's not going to change. But the data tells us a lot. If you look at customers, even customer data, right?
Yeah.
There's a car dealership in China that lost 90% of their revenue.
Wow.
When COVID hit, 90%, because people stopped renting cars. It was a rental agency. Mm-hmm. What they did is they started calling all their customers, and they realized that now that their customers were home, they were still asking them to come to work a week at a time. So they offered rentals at a discounted rate so that people could use the cars to go to work. And they got their revenue back in 30 days, 60 days. They got it back to about 80% of their revenue, because the employees were renting the cars just to go back and forth to work. And so, but they use their data to point them in a direction. And that's another small business CEO challenge, if the CEO has the time to really kind of read and pay attention to what the marketplace is.
Yeah,
but you see it every day.
Yeah, they got to think outside of the box, and they have to make the time to do it, like you said, by reading the data. And that can sometimes be challenging. But what are some of the aspects of the DC Small Business Development Center's COVID-19 initiative do you see most helpful to our firms? We only have a couple of more minutes, but yeah, what do you see?
Well, I would reiterate that you've got subject matter experts in areas like banking and finance, IT, so cybersecurity. You have strategic planning. You have human resources. Those subject matter experts have been working with firms for a long period of time. Many of them have come from the trade themselves. So if you're doing human resources, these are human resource professionals. Mm-hmm. And the fact that the Small Business Development Center has access to these subject matter experts, and that these subject matter experts can provide counseling to the firms for free, is a huge benefit. And more importantly, one of the biggest challenges is, people can go to training, but what happens after training? And to have a subject matter expert that will work with you, let's say one of the human resource companies, counselors makes a recommendation, but guess what? They can work with you as you start to implement that recommendation into your company.
Yeah.
You have someone to talk to for feedback. You have someone to say, I did it this way, but it didn't work. And the subject matter expert can say, okay, you know what? Try this. This is what typically happens. And so to have that kind of support for your company, that's a phenomenal asset that I think the firm should really, really take advantage of.
Yeah.
Just try it out. Give them your biggest challenge. And most of those experts are waiting for you to provide the biggest challenge for them. That's what they thrive on. I think it's a great asset.
At no cost, right, Carl?
That's right.
Shakira doesn't want us to say
cost,
free anymore.
Free, no cost, whatever.
It's all the same,
free
right.
doesn't cost you a penny. But Mike, we're out of time. Can you give me your website again? How to get in touch with you?
Website is www.quest2consulting.com. And my email address is michael@quest2consulting.com.
Again, Michael, it's been a pleasure. I thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah.
We're getting this word out about leadership and coaching, executive coaching, and you're one of the top people in that field. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you. All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Okay. Well,
bye-bye.
That's it for the show, right?
That's
Carl?
it. Yeah, the Small Business Report will be back next week with expert information, experts, and small business owners, so you can learn more about how to grow and develop your business.
That's right. By going to the dcsbdc.org, or you can, if you want to look good on TV or get on TV and radio, you can look at my website, mortonmediatv.com. That's it for now, folks. Join us again next week.
This has been Carl Brown and Sharon Morton, giving you all the tools you need to succeed on the Small Business Report. Thank you for listening, and be sure to tune in next week at HUR Voices on Sirius XM, Channel 141. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook. And for more tips on starting, growing, and financing your business, visit us at thesmallbusinessreport.biz.